Hey, this is Christian Kane. You're listening to Dispatch Radio.
Do that. All right, let's shift gears. Let's touch on Hillary. She won big in New York. Not really a surprise. I think Bernie really had to. He had a lot of momentum, and this really kind of shows how that really can not be applied to this election. Momentum doesn't seem to matter much here. I will say I don't know that Hillary's big win in New York stops Bernie from the next 5 elections on Tuesday. And let's get to Alex Snitker, get his opinion on that. Alex, do you agree with me or not that Bernie can still do well with the next 5, or is this like it's kind of done? They're going to be kind of Bernie, but it's Hillary's at this point. It's Hillary's to lose. None of it really matters. What are your thoughts?
I think that what you're looking at here, and what you're looking at, this is going to tell where Bernie's at, because Bernie isn't really a Democrat. I mean, he's running in the Democrat nomination, but we got to remember he's a Democrat socialist, if that's what the word you want to use, or just socialist. He's not really a Democrat. And so by not really being a Democrat, he doesn't have the loyalty to the party that somebody else might have that's been a Democrat for a long time. He doesn't have anything to lose there. So him staying in or getting out really depends on if he thinks he's going to be able to keep his message going. And I think he's going to be able to keep his message going. I think that the negatives on Hillary are really high. So he's going to keep this going, I think. But if he drops out, he probably ended up getting some kind of a deal made. I'm sure they're working on trying to work out some kind of a deal with Bernie where he can, save face and get some things done. But at the end of the day, he can stay in this thing and really kind of geek it up for Hillary. But again, it's how bad is he geeking it up when you see what's going on the other side? I mean, this is, just a race to the bottom at this point.
Yeah, and I'm working on an article where Chris Matthews is turning on Bernie as well because of the attack ads on Hillary. Like, it's okay so far, and we've heard this now for the last week or so. You're seeing articles showing up in Rolling Stone, HuffPo, things like that, where he's actually attacking Hillary, so that's a negative. Like, it was okay to just play nice, but don't actually attack her because she's going to be the candidate. Bernie really doesn't have anything to lose, like you said, right? I mean, literally, why get out? Why not just keep going with the socialist movement? Make sure you've got a presence. Make sure you've given a voice to every single state. Use that as a platform going forward. Why give up any single state? Why not run this out to California and Jersey and everything? Because look, we're at 25% are socialists, 30% are socialists, 60% are socialists. I mean, you actually put a figure on who's voting for this guy, right?
Yeah, and you got to remember, Bernie is topping in. Not all these people are necessarily even socialists. There's a lot of people that are so fed up with the system that they're willing to go into the direction of someone like Bernie Sanders because at least he's talking about the problem. I can't even tell you how many people I've talked to that I would be like, well, he advocates for this stuff. Yeah, I don't like that stuff, but he's going after this, or he's going after this, or he's going after this. And so you have an electorate. Again, we're in uncharted territory on the Democrat side, too, where you have a lot of people, and you have people that have been waiting a long time for somebody like Bernie to come around. Now, those people are the socialists. However, the young people that are going out for Bernie, it's getting caught up in the mix. I mean, some of these people that I knew were going for Ron Paul have gone for people like Bernie. And the reason why was because in their mind, what they heard this guy say had them going down the same road that they were going down with Ron Paul. So you have a mixed up electorate right now that really is in schizophrenia mode in many aspects because you have somebody like Trump who really, is definitely an authoritarian. You have Bernie Sanders who's definitely an authoritarian. I mean, when you really get to the end of it, he can't work his plans unless he's putting massive amount of force on the American public to make sure that they're doing exactly what he wants to do. And but at the same time, he's not loyal to those guys. He's not loyal to the Democratic Party. He's just not. And, I know people don't maybe not understand that, but he is. I mean, he's a wild card, just like Trump's a wild card. And you know what? You don't think that some of the people on the other side, when they see Bernie get screwed over at the convention, that they're not going to put this guy on the air to do damage to the Democrats? And you don't think Bernie's going to take advantage of that? He's going to do that.
It's interesting to me because there hasn't really been like an outrage yet on their side. There's been some grumblings here and there about the superdelegate process, but no one's really calling them out by name. I actually we've done a few reports, we've done a few postings, but I got to be honest, man, these journalists are just spineless because if I were running the Seattle Times, man, it'd be Patty Murray goes against her voters. It would be, in Vermont. These places where he's won like 60%. Yet all of your senators and reps, everyone's going against the system to say, oh, we want Hillary instead. So sort of like the cronyism from the corruptness of all of this has not really been outed yet, and I'm not sure it will be. Do you think that we'll turn to that point that MSNBC or anyone else will say, listen, these superdelegates should flip. This is not fair for them to stay this one direction. Or if they were going to do it, they would have done it by now.
It's a bomb. It may not have fully gone off yet. There's been some things that have been going on where I think where you're going to see the majority of that happen is going to be like with people like the Young Turks. Is that the honest progressive media that's out there, the ones that by no mistake they let you know where they're at. And MSNBC is just a front for the Democrat Party. I mean, if we're going to say Fox is a front for the Republicans, then MSNBC is nothing but a front for the Democrats. You look at last night's coverage, and that gives you everything you need to know because, one side wouldn't put Hillary on live, the other side wouldn't put Trump really on that live or would cut through or would cut in or put it behind it. So you see where they're at. But guys like the Young Turks who have a huge presence online, I mean, I think when it comes to news programs online, I don't think anybody beats the Young Turks. And those guys are going to call them out. They love Bernie, and they're going to call them out. Now, does that reverberate around the rest of the media? I don't think it does, but I don't think it needs to.
Alex Snitker, folks. That's the Democratic side of things in the wake of the New York primary. A week from now, we'll be talking about 5 other states. Delegate counts will continue to swirl in the mix. I don't think that we'll see any major changes in who's ahead or but we'll see the diatribe changes. We'll come back with Snitker, talk about some local races, some national races, and other things of interest. Hang on.